So, hey, people of God, this is Rashana B back with On My Way Up movement, and I'm back with an awesome word. So, people of God, I came to encourage you or maybe enlighten you on you being in a situation where you feel like you're stuck in between a rock and a hard place, if you will, meaning like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And so you're stagnated, okay? But this isn't the will of God. And while you're stagnated, if you be honest, God is giving you ideas that you are dismissing as strange and not of God because they just don't make sense to you. Okay. Maybe they seem like they're, far fetched. Maybe they seem more like just a wild or a vivid imagination or just a crazy idea that has no validity, that has no wisdom. And so you're just dismissing it while you're standing still. Okay. Now, there is times in life that you are directed or admonished to wait upon the Lord and stand still. And this is where discernment is necessary. This is where you pray for discernment. But for some of you, standing still is actually disobedience for you. It's actually causing your stagnation and actually causing you to miss opportunities and blessings. Okay. You're stagnated really because you're fearful, you're confused, and you're double-minded. No judgment here. I've been there. I've been there more than once. But I have found that this is when you pray. This is when you start to pay attention to what God is doing or these ideas that you are dismissing that are actually ideas from God. Okay. And so God is actually uh, trying to push you or stir you up to take a chance, to take a leap of faith. And so I want to talk about that because Ecclesiastes 9:11 says this. This is King Solomon speaking. He says, I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happen to them all. So even if you're smart, even if you're rich, even if you have the favor of God, even if you're strong, even if you're fast, you're swift, okay, it only happens to some by chance. It only happens by chance, a leap of faith, just stepping out. Okay. And so some of you are not doing that because you're not trusting taking a chance. But what if I told you you operate in Kairos time? God is operating in eternity. He's beyond time. Your chance is his set and appointed time for you. And the Bible gives us scriptures of, this phrase, a set time. Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 3 says this, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. Psalm 31, verse 15 says, my times are in your hands. My times are in your hands. My set times are in your hands. Psalm 102, verses 3 through 14. You will arise and have mercy on Zion. For the time to favor her, yes, the set time has come. Okay, so it's about set time. And so uh Exodus chapter 14, verse 15, God tells Moses, why are you crying to me? Why are they crying to me? Tell them to move forward. Okay. Stop standing still. Okay. Stop allowing confusion, double mindedness, okay, and fear to grip you and cause you to be stagnated. Move forward. Okay. Because sometimes not moving at all can actually be death, whether it's emotional, psychological, financially, relationally, okay, materialistically. However, okay, in some cases, this again is where you need to pray for discernment and pay attention to your thought patterns, okay, because God is downloading these things in you for you to move forward and for you to prosper. And so I want to talk about four wise men in the Bible, the four lepers in Second Kings chapter 7. They're lepers. Now, to give you a backdrop on leprosy, this was an ancient disease where the person who was suffering with this disease was completely ostracized. They were homeless, they were impoverished, they were beggars. People spit on them, kicked them around. They were nothing. They were worthless. They were like trash back then because people feared them and deemed them unclean and cursed. So they were always outside of everything, living on the outskirts of everything because people didn't want to be subject to the disease. No one knew how the disease started. There was no cure. You actually rotted to death from the inside out. Your limbs literally rotted off of you until you were dead. So it was a horrible way to go back then. And so four of these men are at the entrance of a gate. Again, they're excommunicated. They're not allowed in the gate. So they're at the entrance of the gate. And they say to one another, why are we sitting here until we die? If we say we will enter the city, the famine is in the city, and we shall die there. If we sit here, we will die also. Now, therefore, come let us surrender to the army of the Syrians. If they keep us alive, we shall live. If they kill us, we shall die. Now, this is what I like. They were in between a rock and a hard place. The city was in famine. People were already dying due to starvation. They were in famine. And so the lepers, had come up with this. Look, we're lepers. We're going to die anyway. If we go in the city, we'll die because there's no food. Everybody's already dying. Everybody's hungry. They're starving to death. If we sit here, we'll surely die because we're lepers. Okay. So let's just go ahead, move forward. Let's go, turn ourselves into the Syrians, to the army of the Syrians, and just take our chances there. People of God, that was one of the best moves that they could have ever done. They get to the camp. Again, God is beyond time. He had already gotten rid of everybody in the Syrian camp. He had already pushed them out of their own camp because God had saw to it. It says the day before that the Lord had caused the army of the Syrians to hear the noise of chariots and the noise of horses, the noise of a great army. So they said to one another, look, the king of Israel has hired us, the kings of the Hittites and the kings of Egyptians, to attack us. Therefore they arose and fled at twilight and left the camp intact. Their tents, their horses, their donkeys, they fled for their lives. When the lepers, verse 8, chapter 7 of 2 Kings, when the lepers came to the outskirts of the camp, they went into the tent, ate and drank, and carried from it silver and gold and clothing, and went and hid them. Then they came back and entered another tent and carried some from there also and went and hid it. So the lepers got there, seeing that the Syrians had already left, had ran out. God had pushed them out the day before because it was the set time for the lepers to take that chance, okay, to come out between that rock and that hard place and enter the Syrian camp. They get there and plunder, find so much spoil and plunder, gold, silver. They're eating, they're drinking, they're having a good time. These lepers were actually good dudes because they decide, well, let's go back and tell the king of our city what's going on so they can come eat too. And so they go back and tell the king, look, the Syrians have left their camp, and all their gold, their silver, their plunder, everything is there. It's ripe for the taking. Okay. And so the king is scared to take a chance. The lepers talk sense in them. The lepers say, well, just send some horses there. Send some servants and some horses there, and if they don't make it back, then don't come. If they make it back, then hey, you know that we wasn't lying. Again, take another chance, take another leap of faith, okay? Because you're damned if you do, and you damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. If you stay in this city, you're gonna starve to death. Okay, we're trying to put you on so you can eat with us too. So the king takes a chance. He sends servants, sends some horses there. Of course, what ends up happening, to make a long story short, they plunder the Syrian camp. Everybody eats. Everybody enjoys drink and food at a time of famine, at a time that the city was about to just die off. Okay, God had provided provision for His people. Okay, He had preserved them. He had a set time, but it took someone to take that leap of faith, to take that chance in a desperate situation. You're already in a desperate situation. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. Okay. Either way, something's going to die in your life if you don't make a move. Why are you standing still? God is asking, move forward. Take a chance. It happens for those who take a chance. What you deem as a chance and risky, God has set up for you at an appointed time to be blessed and prosperous, for breakthrough, for answers. Okay, but healing, but deliverance, because it's his set time. It's your chance, but it's his set time. Two different people, four lepers took a chance. It was God's set time. They get there, go back and let the king know you too need to take a chance. God sees to it that the king takes a chance and everybody enjoys God's set timing of provision at a time that they were all about to die if nobody made a move. People of God, I hope that this word blessed you. I really do, because it blessed me. So, people of God, please like, subscribe, share, comment, tell me what you all think about my content, and I'll be back with an awesome word.